ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. Om. In today's session, we will be taking up two suktas from another famous Rishi, Hiranyastupa Angirasa. They are in Jagati and Trishtup Chandasas. Devata is Agni. Jagati Chandas contains 4 padas, each having 12 letters, and Trishtup contains 11 letters per pada and again 4 padas. Suktam 31, 1.31.1. Tvamagne prathamo angira. O resplendent, omniscient Agni, you are the first eternal essence of energy behind life on the earth, pervading all limbs, a wise sage and a revealer of knowledge. You are giver of light to shining beings and auspicious friend. In your role, righteous persons came to be possessed of brilliant knowledge, and their actions came to be controlled by true knowledge. This Rik lists some of the attributes of Agni, the soul of energy. From earlier explanations, these should be comprehensible to all readers. Intelligent men meditating on Agni realize self-knowledge. Again, Agni stands for personified energy in all the Riks in this sukta. 1.31.2. Tvamagne prathamo angirastama. O Agni, you are the first. You are giver of rest to all beings at the time of dissolution, unifier of all, are like mother for luminous and non-luminous objects. You are the best among all shining or luminous bodies, and you are also a Lord of creation. For that reason, you ordain the external laws for the earth, the sun, and all other worlds, for shining beings and for ordinary mortals. More attributes of Agni are given here. In principle, all activities in this universe of all creatures are controlled by Agni. Energy present in inanimate objects also comes from Agni. 1.31.3. Tvamagne prathamo. O Agni, you are the best compared to air of the atmosphere. May you become manifested for the solar world, which will enable us to do noble deeds. The space and earth tremble in front of you. O supporter of the universe, you honor the great burden of the space and earth. Compared to Agni, all other material objects are inert, without energy of their own. He honors the space and earth by giving them the necessary energy for sustaining the activities that go on in them. Next we will go to 1.31.4. Tvamagne manave. O Agni, you are always the doer of best deeds. You gave knowledge about the space and other objects to a thoughtful person and an enlightened person who makes noble speech. You are endowed with knowledge in this and again in another life or manifestation. Released from your father or protector in the olden days, you appear in different forms later. Agni is the illuminator of all objects, gross and subtle. He is also the revealer of spiritual knowledge, non-objective. Agni is said or thought to be fathered by Purusha, Mukhadindrascha Agnischa. And this Agni only is manifesting in different forms of energy. We will go to next 1.31.5. Tvam Agne Vrushabha. O Agni, you are showerer of happiness, enhancer of strength, of sacrifices, absolutely true and praiseworthy for the performer of sacrifice sitting in front of you. You know fully the good sacrificial offerings and hymns of your invokers. May you illuminate all your subjects. The Ruk may need no explanation. 1.31.6. Tvamagne, O attender or protector, observer of all, Agni, you destroy in a righteous battle for delightful wealth a mighty and unrighteous person, even with limited resources. You sustain and protect truthful, as per nature's laws, actions. Agni is an attender and observer of all inner forms where energy is present. Unrighteous person stands for ahambhava, feeling of I-ness in living creatures, which include even animals. Next word, next is 1.31.7. Tvam tamagne amurtatva. O Agni, you sustain every day that mortal who praises you and who is worthy of being heard about in the best of immortality. On a wise and enlightened person who has already enjoyed bliss associated with Brahman but longs for birth in human form, you bestow both spiritual happiness and material happiness from food and drink. Agni gives spiritual wealth to a seeker of truth and to an enlightened person. He also bestows physical wealth if necessary. 1.31.8. Tvam no Agni. O Agni, praised by us, you render us famous with reference to proper distribution of various kinds of wealth. May we grow by or as a result of new and diligent activities. May the space and earth protect us in association all together with shining beings. Next few rigs may not require any additional explanation. We will go to 1.31.9. Tvam no Agni. O irreproachable, ever awake, resplendent preserver of life, Agni, you please make us distinguished among learned men and devoted to our parents by being close to them. O auspicious and wise Agni, may you enlighten me about all kinds of wealth I am a performer of sacrifice. 1.31.10 Tvamagne Pramadistvam. Free from deceit, wise Agni, you are our protector. You are the giver of life or energy to us. May we become your relatives. Approaching you, who is a protector of vows and very brave, may we obtain hundreds and thousands of wealth. 1.31.11 O Agni, enlightened Tvamagne. O Agni, enlightened one made you, who is first and foremost moving Lord of the people, for the knowledge of mankind. You are the Lord of speech and edicts of human beings through the words contained in the Vedas. As this son, I, is born from my father, in the same way, may you become a father to me. 1.31.12 Tvamno Agni. O praiseworthy, resplendent Agni, please protect our bodies and us who possess righteous wealth and are observers of your edicts, always with your protective powers. May you preserve the bodies of our children also. Be a guard of our cattle. You are our true protector. May you be protector of the sun also. .31.13 O Agni, you dwell inside all living bodies and have eyes in 4 directions. You shine well for a good knowledge or oblations. That giver of oblations and this praisers' hymns mentally serve you only. Praiseful hymns of Vedic sages serve Agni to enhance his glory. .31.14 Tvamagna Urushamsaya. O Agni, you are very wise and remover of all difficulties and miseries. You give a learned, intelligent man who is a teacher of good conduct and respected by all that supreme wealth in which knowledge is ripened. As a father, you rule over all the subjects in the universe. Agni reveals self-knowledge, supreme wealth, to a discriminative man who meditates on him. 1.31.15 Tvamagne Prayata Dakshinam. O Agni, you protect on all sides, a giver of gift as though with a well-stitched armor, and guard a person who keeps delicious food and drink in his house, and he is a giver of happiness as well as a performer all kinds of sacrifices. That you are like the sun in the space. Agni gives protection to different kinds of sacrifices as stated in this rig. 1.31.16 Imamatne Sharanim. O Agni, you are the kith and kin, father and protector of Soma offering mortals. You are very wise, moving from place to place, making learned men wise sages. Please dispel our darkness of ignorance and give us shelter. If we happen to move away from the righteous path, may we come back to it. Here, Soma could mean Vedic hymns or flowing essence of Atma. Rest of the Rig needs no elaboration. Manushvadagne 1.31.7. O radiant Agni, moving everywhere, you like a thoughtful person, like the pranas of living beings, like industrious performers of good deeds, or like experienced old men. Approach nicely a dear learned person, bring him to the sacrificial place and make him sit there. Then you perform the non-violent sacrifice which leads him to self-knowledge. May Agni lead the seer of the Sukta to self-knowledge. This is the implied meaning, which means dear learned person is the seer himself. Last one in this sutta, 1.31.18. Etenagne Brahmana. O Agni, may you grow with this hymn composed by me, with good food and intellect, with physical power and the right knowledge. May you cause to flow the hymns in praise of you. Also, you please lead us towards all kinds of wealth. This requires no explanation. We will go to the next sutta, 32. This is an Indrastuti in Trushtu by Angirasa Hiranyastupa. 1.32.1 Indrasyanu Viryani Pravojam. I declare or describe those earliest valorous deeds of Indra which he, the fold of Vajra, accomplished, such as destroying the cloud cover, bringing rainwaters to the earth, making way for rivers to flow down the mountainside. The Rig serves as an introduction to the Sukta. Superficially, the Sukta talks about Indra's activities regarding manifestation of water in the atmosphere. In the spiritual sense, cloud stands for ignorance of the self. We go to the next 1.32.2. Ahannahim Parvade. Tvashta, creator of the universe, sharpens Indra's thunderbolt for destroying the cloud. Indra smote down the thundering cloud cover, seeking protection in the mountains. By these actions, the waters flow down quickly towards the oceans, like the cows hastening to their calves. Physical meaning of the Rig should be easy enough to understand. In the spiritual sense, thunderbolt stands for spiritual light and cloud for ignorance. 1.32.3 Rishrayamano. Like a mighty bull, Indra accepts and drinks the Soma essence which is there in the three Soma vessels, namely the space, atmosphere and earth. Abundantly rich Indra gets hold of his weapon Vajra and strikes down the firstborn cloud. Soma essence could be physical, namely water, or spiritual, flowing essence of Atma. Here also, cloud could be physical, or it may stand for ignorance. 1.32.4 Yadi Indrahan, when Indra destroyed the cloud formed for the first time, thereby dispelling darkness or delusion associated with the cloud, then by this act the sun manifested in the sky with his golden rays, bringing in the dawn and the day. Thereafter the cloud was no longer seen in the sky. This can be interpreted physically or spiritually. 1.32.5 Ahan Vrutram Vrutradaram. Indra breaks down the clouds into pieces with his mighty weapon Vajra, or the sun with his rays of light, like a tree trunk is brought down to the ground by a sharp-edged sword. The clouds lie prostrate on the earth in the form of rainwater, as though killed by Indra's lightning. In either way, the meaning should be easy enough to understand. 1.32.6 Ayodheva. Like a proud but weak warrior, the cloud dared to challenge Indra, who is the destroyer of many enemies and is extremely valorous. Enabled to withstand Indra or sun's rays, the cloud got broken up, giving birth to rivers, bursting through their banks on the surface of the earth. A part of it is poetic fancy. The other part, everybody can understand. 1.32.7 Apadahasto. Without legs, without hands, without manly vigor, Rutra the cloud desired to fight Indra, as though he is a mighty warrior. Indra smote him with his thunderbolt in between his mountain-like shoulders. Rutra the cloud was thrown down to the earth with bruises all over his body. Pure fancy, poetic fancy. 1.32.8 Nadamna. Rutra the cloud sat within the atmosphere, covering Indra, the sun, and obstructing the water that gives delight to the minds of men. The cloud, destroyed by Indra or the sun's rays, lay on the earth as though prostrated at the feet of the very same waters which flow as many rivers, bursting through their broken banks. We'll go to the next, continuing the same description. 1.32.9 Nichavaya. Rutra have as mothers earth and the atmosphere. Indra smites the mother's son cloud on his bottom, on account of which the mother atmosphere came to occupy a position on top and the sun cloud below. Rutra's mother atmosphere lay sleeping with her son cloud like a cow sleeping with her calf. Usually rain clouds are seen on the lower side of the atmosphere only. That is called troposphere. This extends up to a height of 11 kilometers from the surface of the earth, while atmosphere itself extends up to about 50 kilometers. This is why Mother Atmosphere is said to carry the sun cloud below. 1.32.10. Atishtanti, the body of the nameless Vrutra, who is homeless and never stopping, lay in all directions within the atmosphere in the form of water droplets. Thus rested Indra's enemy in everlasting darkness. This can also be interpreted in both ways, physical and spiritual. Meaning of the rig should not be difficult for comprehension if the reader thinks about it for some time. 1.32.11. The Asapatni, the waters, who are like the wives of the cloud, are obstructed by the cloud cover, like cows confined by a cow herd or a cow trader in a cowshed. By destroying the cloud, Indra broke open the water's confining cover, thus opening the door for the obstructed waters to flow out. Here, Soma means the waters physically and flowing essence of Atma in the spiritually. 1.32.12. O valorous Indra, that fast-moving, ever-active giver of water Vrutra, decided to fight with you alone. Then you smote him with the thunderbolt, which resembles a bundle of light rays, beating Vrutra. Thus Indra conquers the rays, and Soma, here it means waters, causing them to flow down as 7 flowing streams on the surface of the earth. This again quite a lot is poetic fancy. 1.32.13. Nasmai vidyunnatanyadu, the lightning discharged by the cloud against Indra did not hurt him, nor the thunder, nor the rain which the cloud showered, nor the thunderbolt. Whenever Indra battled with the cloud, the magnificent Indra triumphed at all times. One point 32.4. Aher Yadaram, about the striker of the cloud. If any fear arises in the mind of anyone, then who has seen that striker? Because of him, or because of whom, 99 flowing water streams cross all worlds like a fearless hawk. Who has seen Indra, the striker? No one can see him, since he is an imaginary entity, say universal Jivatma or manifested self. So nobody need have any fear from him. The waters flow down fearlessly because of him. This is what Sirad Sukta says here. Last one for the day, 1.32.15. Indro Yado, thunderbolt armed Indra became the lord of all creatures of the world, moving and unmoving, peaceful as well as ferocious. That Indra only became the overlord of all men by controlling their activities. They are attached to him like spokes to a wheel. Indra here could be divinity or universal Jivatma. This is the end of the day's session. Viramastavat